All right, ladies, I'm gonna jump in. Other people pop on. Cool. So hi. Hope you guys are all having a good week so far. It's so weird to me doing this call right now, and it's like bright as can be out. This whole time change is throwing me for a loop. Okay, where are my notes? Okay, so the topic of tonight's call is everything conversations. This is something I wanted to talk about. It was funny, like Sunday, Monday, I was trying so hard to think of team call topics, and I was like, you know what? Conversations is kind of like what we do. Like that's how we get people to join us. They're really important, and sometimes like they can make or break how the conversation goes, and it's not necessarily like us doing anything wrong. It's just, you know, failing forward, right? Like everything in this business, you're trying things, you know, either it works or it doesn't, and then you try something else. So I just thought it'd be good to talk about conversations. You know, how are we starting conversations? What are we saying, asking, doing when people want more information on, say, workout programs, Shakeology, coaching, kind of all the different avenues. And just, yeah, some tips and tricks I want to go over. I just also want you guys to know that, like, if I say something and you're like, oh crap, like I do that or don't do that or whatever, it's okay. Like, there's so many, like, we have to remember that you've got to do what's working best for you. What works for me, unfortunately, is not going to work for everybody. But that's why it's so important to always make sure you're jumping on the national wake-up calls, you know, jumping on other like team calls, like that big team page that we're all a part of, Team Fitspiration, like jumping on those team calls, because, you know, sometimes you might hear something about how someone invites or how someone posts, and you're like, oh, wow, like, you know, Jen does it this way, but I want to try it this way. And maybe that'll work better for you. But at the same time, you have to remember to like keep your blinders on. Like my rule of thumb is if it's not broken, don't fix it. So like, you know, a lot of times I'm listening to a wake up call and a coach does something totally different than what I do. But I don't change and do what she does because what I'm doing works for me. But it took me a lot of like trial and error and trying different coaches' approaches and like things I was learning before I found my groove, my voice, what works for me. So I just want you guys to know if like I ever say something and you're like, well, that's not how I do it, that's okay. If it's working for you, don't change it. So anyway, side rant there. So just a couple things I want to go over before I dive into like the content. Just a reminder, next Tuesday, our team call, you won't have to listen to me rambling. We get to listen to Megan Davies. Oh, I'm so excited. So I did invite my coach friend Shannon. She's the one that I did the What is Coaching webinar with last month. I invited her team to join us. Just because I was like, you know what, the more the merrier, the more of us that are on there, you know, I like that, you know, it just kind of creates that team vibe. And yeah, like her coaches are awesome and maybe gives you guys like some new faces to connect with, stuff like that. So I did extend the invite to them. So it'll be just like usual. I'll post a link in the team page, same time, same place, and we're just gonna listen to her chat. I'm so nervous about like welcoming her and stuff. And I'm gonna have to like pay attention and take notes and then like, you know, repeat what she was saying. I'm nervous. So that, I just want a little reminder on that. Our coaching event. So Shannon and I are teaming up again. We're going to host a brand new What is Coaching event again next Thursday night at 8:30. Well, 8:30 Eastern. So it's 6:30 for me. I think 7:30 for Sam. So I'll just say 8:30 Eastern. We're going to do a live webinar again. We're going to try to do it on a different platform though this time. I want to try to get YouTube to work. That way you guys aren't actually on the screen. Like we can't see you like on a Zoom. You can just hear us. You'll be able to see us, hear us. but we can't see you or hear you. That's how we used to do it in the past, and Shannon and I couldn't figure out how to do it. But I just find that works a little better, and it's easier to get people on the call when you can say, like, you won't be seen or heard, and like they actually won't be. So yeah, coaching event next Thursday, March 21st, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. It's just going to be last one, I think we talked for 40 minutes. We do aim to keep it like 30 to 40 minutes. So yeah, just same as last time. Tell people they can show up, just listen. I don't know if we're going to like revamp the slideshow. I don't really know, but all I know is that's the date. So don't forget, you guys, the prize for this month is Top Success Club earner gets either a tub of Energize or a sample pack of Shakeology. We're not even halfway through the month yet, so whether you have 1 million points on the board or no points on the board, you're still totally in this. Like I say this all the time, I've literally watched people go from 0 to 6 the last day of the month. So don't ever give up is what I'm saying. Okay, I'm going to dive into the content of this call. So, conversations. So the first thing I want to talk about is how are we starting them? So if you guys use, like, I know there's lots of different things out there to use on how you like track your dailies. This is just beside me. So like on this, it says, we're connecting, we're inviting, we're following up. That is something, we should be doing Monday to Friday, following new people, commenting on people's stuff, just making connections, making new friends. So if we want to invite people to something, if, we want to get out there in front of more people and stuff, like you gotta be talking to them. You gotta be starting conversations, and you have to be inviting. Now, so this is more if like you're not inviting people right off the hop. I'm going to get to that in a second, but if you're wondering like how to start a conversation with someone, maybe it's someone on Instagram, someone on Facebook that you haven't talked to in a while. The easiest way to do that without like coming off, weird, salesy, whatever the case may be, is just to simply reach out to the people that, are liking your posts, are watching your stories, and are like possibly commenting on your posts. So all of those people, you guys message them. All you have to say is, hey, I just wanted to reach out and say thanks so much for watching my videos. The support means a ton. Have a great day. Then that's kind of that initial like connection. You've opened that window. And then, maybe a couple days you see she posts something. You could say like, hey, like I just saw you post a picture of your puppy, like so cute. How old is he? Just kind of making like that conversation. I kind of look at it as like you're making a new friend. Just ask some questions, like I said, the easiest way to start a conversation is simply to either thank them for liking, commenting, watching, or to like ask them a question. I know a lot of coaches do the thing where like say they like someone's outfit, or they have a cute puppy, maybe you want to know what kind it is. Maybe they went on a trip recently and you want to know how the resort was. So like message them, be like, hey, I just saw you post this. I was just curious, like, where did you go on your trip? Like what resort? Would you recommend it? Me and my boyfriend are looking to go on a trip. Like those are just different ways you can start conversations. So that's kind of the first step, connecting with them. But then this is a big reason why I invite right off the hop, because I have mentioned I have a tough time transitioning from connection to invite. So you've got to try both. See what works better for you, what you're getting better like interaction with, what you're getting better responses with, so if you're doing 10 invites a day, do 5, just like starting a conversation, making a connection, making a friend, and then do 5 just direct cold invites, like the PB&J or whatever, and see what you're getting better traction with. Like, don't be afraid to try different things and see what works best for you. I had a pretty big wake up like call a couple years ago when I was on like a mentorship call with Jake, and he said, he's like, Jen, like you do so great with signing up challengers, but he's like, for like me, like in my goals, like, I have, big rank goals for our team and stuff like that. You have to be signing up coaches too. And I was signing up like not very many coaches at this point. Like it was all challengers, which of course isn't a bad thing. But when you want to build a team and you want to, hit certain ranks and qualify for elite and stuff, you have to sign up coaches. So he said to me, he's like, Jen, like all of your posts are about working out. He's like, so you're attracting people that just want to work out. He's like, you don't ever talk about business. So that's when I really was like, oh yeah, true. Like I was always talking about my workouts, my eating, my nutrition, but I never talked about business. Like even just small things that the business was doing for me. And he's like, Jen, you can't show up every day and do the same actions and expect a different result. So if something isn't working, whatever it may be, then we need to connect. We need to chat. We need to try something new, because I'm telling you, if you keep showing up and doing the exact same things, you can't expect a different result, because obviously something's not working. So we got to kind of evaluate, and we have to try something new. So just keep that in mind, that like, you know, it might just be a little tweak here, a little tweak there, but if we're not getting somewhere that we want to go, we kind of just have to reevaluate and be open to trying new things. Because yeah, if it's like, you know, if it's not broken, or yeah, if it's not broken, don't fix it. But if it's not working, then you can't just keep doing the same things and expect something else to just magically happen, right? So I forget where I was even talking about when I got off on that rant. So yeah, starting conversations, you guys, just look at it as, you know, making a friend, but then also make sure you invite them eventually to something, you know, to check out coaching, to join your next challenge group. And again, like try both methods. Try the connecting first, and then tell yourself, I'm going to have a back and forth conversation. Like set a deadline for yourself. I'm going to chat with this girl for 2 days, and then I'm going to throw out an invite. And remember, if you're consistently doing these things, you're always going to have people to chat with and people to invite to. That's why I preach consistency so much. So yeah, obviously if you're inviting right away, then start with something personal. So I really like the PB&J method for inviting, because it has you go to their page and like find something you can say to them, like, you know, compliment them on, or just something personal, so that they know you kind of check them out a little bit, that you're kind of paying attention. So start with something personal, first paragraph, and then bam, you know, do the invite. So that's kind of what I do. I use that PB&J method, you know, altering it to fix you. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later, that it's really important to put your own like spin on it, your own vibe on it, because how I talk and how you talk is going to be totally different, right? I remember hearing this thing once. It's like, if you wouldn't say this to your best friend, then don't say it in your post. Like, talk like how you would with one of your best friends. Don't try to talk like someone else. It's totally okay to get inspired and take ideas, and you know, we're encouraged not to reinvent the wheel with coaching. Everything's there, but it's also like not encouraged to obviously just copy and paste everything, but to just take ideas and bits and pieces, but rewrite it in your own words, so that it sounds like it's coming right from you. So yeah, the goal is you guys connect, invite, follow up. That's what you want to be doing, like, you know, every day, starting new connections, inviting, following up with those people. So if someone asks for more information, so just in general, say if someone comments on your photo, more info, please. Now, obviously, if your post is about working out, then they're likely going to want more information on working out. If your post is about coaching and they say more info, so obviously be mindful of that. I'm just kind of talking about in general. If someone's like, hey, like I want more information on what you do. A lot of people say that to me, like, I want more information on what you do. So I have to ask, like, are you interested in the health and wellness side of things, or are you interested in coaching, or both? Most times they're like health and wellness, but like you could send me information on both. So someone wants more information. I have like a system that I use no matter what, whether they want information on Shakeology, workouts, coaching. So they want more info. I thank them. That is the first thing I do. And maybe if they comment, like another thing, you guys always comment, like reply to people's comments on your post. You guys are pretty good at that. So just obviously do that. So I always like reply on their comment. Like if they want more info, I say, yeah, no problem. I'll send you a message. So then when I message them, the first thing I do is I thank them. So I would say like, hey, Patricia, thank you so much for, you know, commenting on my photo. You know, I really appreciate the support, and I would love to chat with you more about everything. And then I say, but like before, you know, I give you information, I would love if you could answer a few questions for me. So the questions I ask people, and again, like you could totally use this, just put it into your, like the questions are pretty straightforward. You can use those as is, but like, you know, like I'm someone that loves emojis. So like if you're not someone that normally uses emojis, don't use emojis. I am. So it's like if I wrote a message without an emoji, That would be weird for me. But just little things like that to be mindful of, that just make sure it's coming from you. So I thank them, then I just ask them, like, before we dive into more information, I would really love if you could answer a few questions for me. I'm just gonna pull up my questions that I ask. I literally have a million notes in my phone. So 1 second. Oh, here it is. Okay. So this is like a general outline of what I say, but again, you guys, you've got to tailor it to the person, to the conversation. Like sometimes, yes, we can copy and paste like our message, but sometimes it's like it won't make sense to that person, and it's just we're having a different conversation. So make sure you're like changing things up a bit. So I'll just say like, hey, like I said, so and so, I hope you're having an awesome Sunday so far. Obviously, if it's not Sunday, I gotta change Sunday. I would love to chat more about everything and see if it's something you want to do. But before we jump into all that, would you mind answering a few questions for me? And so I have 5 questions. The first one I say, what is your schedule like? The second one is, what are your goals when it comes to your health and wellness? Number 3 is, what are you currently doing for exercise? 4 is, how are your eating habits? The good, the bad, the ugly. And then the last one is, any injuries or limitations I should know about. These are all from my application. So if they filled out my application, that just kind of eliminates this step, but not a lot of people like to fill out the application. Like they do and they don't. It goes in spurts, I find. But anyway, so then I just say thank you so much and I look forward to chatting more. So then I leave it on them. If they haven't replied in 2 days, I check in. I'll simply say, hey Patricia, like just checking in, see if you read over the questions I sent a couple days ago. Like, do you have any questions? Or obviously I was asking them questions, but yeah, I check in. If they don't reply, that's it, I leave it. But usually they do reply and they answer the questions. So when they answer the questions, the goal here, you guys, is like our job is we want to figure out what people are struggling with and offer a solution. So and sometimes you got to ask a bit more questions to do that. So a big thing, like tip I have, is don't rush it. I know we all want to get the sale and get the commission and get the successful points. Hello, like we all want money. Like that's not a bad thing. Like that's why we're doing this. And we're trying to build a business, which requires an income, but you can't rush this. Like people get really like their backs up anyway about stuff. So if we're like rushing them through it and just like word vomit all this information without like really taking the time to like read what they've said or whatever, then people will pick up on that. So when they answer your questions, read them. Like again, because sometimes we're just so like, we're excited, right? So we rarely read, we skim it, we just send a copy and paste reply. So again, there are times and places for certain messages, but you've got to be patient to get to that and ask lots of questions. So when they reply with my answers, I'm like, thank you so much. Again, I'm always thanking them. Thank you so much for taking the time to answer those questions. And then I repeat back some of the things they've said, just kind of like some key points. If there's anything I relate to, I'll say like, oh my gosh, I'm the same way. Like a lot of times people say I don't like going to the gym, I'm not comfortable. So I'll say like, me too, like relate to them. Let them know like they're not alone, you understand, or give an example. Like if they say something, you're like, oh yeah, like that happened to me. Don't make it too much about you, but just simply say like, I can totally relate. I had a similar thing happen to me. Then bring it back to them. So like thank them, relate to them, bring it back to them. If you need more information on something, like maybe you don't understand something they said, know that it's okay to ask questions. Like more questions the better, really, because you're just getting to know them better and like what they're struggling with and what you can offer to help them. So usually like from all of this, you get a pretty good idea of what you can recommend to them from those questions, because you're getting their schedule, their eating habits. And again, like you guys know, I usually recommend the same package to pretty much everyone. The odd time I might recommend a cleanse or the pre and post workout, yada, yada, yada. But usually I want them to have Beachbody On Demand, the portion control system, and the shakes. So that is the bundle I recommend 9 times out of 10. Unless, like I said, if they were asking about Transform 20, like the steps, something specific. So yeah, like I said, you guys ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask more questions. Just really listen for what they're struggling with and then offer a solution. Yeah, so don't rush it. Don't copy and paste everything. Like I said, like I have a lot of notes that I do copy and paste, but sometimes it just doesn't fit that conversation. So you got to change some wording, change some sentences, because again, people will pick up on stuff like that. Like I used to send a copy and paste like invite message a couple years ago, and I had a name in it, and I sent like the wrong name. Like I called someone the wrong name, and I was like mortified. I was like, oh my gosh, like they're gonna know I like copied and pasted this, but I literally just played stupid and was like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I sent you that message. I was supposed to go to so and so, not you, but since I messaged you by accident, how are you? So I just like totally played it off, like, oh, I didn't mean to. So just be careful with stuff like that. And if like, you know, if you have copy and paste messages, I don't have names now. I've taken all names out of any of my like messages that I send a lot, because that way, if anything, it just says, hey. It won't say, hey, the wrong name. Be genuine, you guys. Like, be you. People are messaging you for you. You know, they like your vibe. They see you on their stories or like on their newsfeed, whatever. Like, be you. You know, like that's who they're interested in, and that's why they're, you know, they're messaging you and talking to you. And be, again, offer real life examples. If you know you went through something similar, it's okay to like say that, but just again, make sure we don't make it all about us. Like, just always bring it back to them. And yeah, don't treat people like commission or success club points. Just take that all out of there. I find when like I'm really focused on that stuff, like ranks and income and whatever, that comes off in my messages. And when I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna have fun with this. I'm just gonna be me. I'm gonna share this opportunity. If they want it, awesome. If they don't, they're lost. So people pick up on that excitement and that like energy that you're putting off. So just be mindful of that. And don't give any pricing until the end. That is another big tip I have. Even if they ask, oh, I'd love pricing and info, still I say, yeah, like no problem. I would love to chat with you more about everything. But first, I ask them the questions. Then I just get to know them, their goals, whatever. And then even still, I'll explain the programs, packaging, and I still don't give pricing. I'll just ask them, like, do you want to try this? And then when they say, yeah, I'm like, great. Sign up is super simple, yada, yada, yada. And just like, so you know, this is the package I am signing most of my girls up with. It's $190. You get this, 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 and this. Like, can I grab your email and shake flavor, send you the mobile enrollment, and we'll get you all signed up. So again, just kind of try to treat it like you're having a conversation with your best friend. Yeah, I just remember hearing that on a wake-up call one day when they were like, if you wouldn't say it to your best friend or your mom, don't post it because it's not you. Like, be you. Okay, so if someone just wants the workout, because a lot of times I'll get people message me and they're like, I just want the workouts, I'm not interested in the shakes. Well, a lot of people might be like, oh, okay, no problem. I'll just give you information about the workouts. No, I ask questions, because a lot of people just have some weird hesitation around shakes, or maybe they've tried to shake in the past, whatever. There can be lots of silly reasons that you can actually talk to them about, and they end up trying the shakes. So I always use the same process. Again, like I thank them, I ask those questions, but I will always, 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 always recommend, if someone just wants workouts, I still recommend the full package, and vice versa. So I'll ask, like, why don't you want shakes? Like, I always say, well, do you mind me asking like why you're not interested in the shakes? And they're just like, well, I've tried protein shakes in the past, I don't like them. So then of course I'll say, well, good news, like Shakeology isn't a protein shake, it's like a health drink. And I tell them the benefits. I said I always recommend my ladies at least trying them for 1 week with your kit. If you don't like them for any reason, you get a full refund. And then usually they're like, oh, okay, I'll try them. And sometimes people are just like, nope, like want no part of it, then fine. But I always say I'm going to do my job to recommend workouts, nutrition, support. And that is a challenge pack. So I'm always going to recommend it. If they don't want it, they don't want it. But at least always, always, always recommend it. Use that 30-day refund. Like, that really helps people. I always like say to people, I was so hesitant in spending like the $200 at first. As soon as I found out I could get a refund in 30 days, I was all over it. And I tell them I had full intention of returning it all. And then I let them know, like 4 years later, I'm still drinking my shake, still working out. So I just say to them, I'm like, I would love if you gave it 7 days. Try a shake every day for 7 days. If you don't like them, no problem. Like, you can still get a refund and keep your workouts. And they're like, oh, okay, sure, I'll try them. Sometimes, most of the time. And then the odd time they're like, no, I'm good, I just want the workouts. And then yeah, same with Shake. It's not that often that people just message you for Shakeology, but it happens. And no brainer, you guys. Shakeology by itself is expensive. So literally they pay Canadian 155 for a bag of shakes, or 186 to add a year of workouts and stuff. Like, it's just a no-brainer to say, well, for $30 more, you can get a year of workouts. Like, why wouldn't you? It's a way better deal. So I just always kind of let them know that Shakeology is pricey by itself. So why don't we bundle it with some workouts, portion control, and then, even if you use the workouts a couple times a year or a couple times a month, like, it's still just such a better value, and they're more likely to get it. Because when I find like in the past, when I used to just tell people the price of Shakeology, they were like, yeah, no thanks, too expensive. But when I tell them about it in a bundle, it's a way better value, right? Like, you can pay literally $30 more and get a year of workouts, portion containers, everything you need. So just always, whatever people ask, always let them know the benefits of getting the full package. And again, it's of course going to be up to them, but I just always mention it. So my process is the same, but I just want to let you guys know it's important to at least mention it, like Shakeology and the workouts. It's kind of like our job, right? Like I said, as long as you're mentioning it, then you're good. So it's okay if you don't know everything, you guys. We don't have to be the expert. Like, it's not really encouraged for us to be the expert. That's why we have Autumn and Joel and them. They are the experts in the workouts. Now we're lucky we can kind of be a bit more of the experts in the portion control, but it's okay to tell people, like, I don't know, but let me find out for you. Or hold on, I'll check. So just know that, like, you don't have to be the expert in everything. And honestly, it can be kind of intimidating. Like, if, we try to act like, we know everything, like, that could be intimidating to someone to try to approach us and be like, well, I don't want to go to her because she knows everything about everything and blah, blah, blah. Like, so it kind of makes people feel better, I find, when they know you're kind of on this journey with them instead of like Mrs. Know-it-all. So just know that it's okay to not know the answer and to tell people that, I'm actually not really sure. Like, if you just leave it with me, I will find an answer for you, kind of thing. If people are interested in coaching. So I don't really ask a ton of questions with coaching. I just, again, thank them. I always thank people. So awesome you're interested. I would love to chat with you more about everything. And then I typically will just say, like, I actually have an info package I would love to send you. Read it over, and then we can chat more about everything. And they're like, yeah, sure, great. And like, now that we're coming up on the coaching event, I'll also say to them, and if you're interested, next Thursday night, me and a fellow coach are doing a live, like, what is coaching event? I would love to have you on it. So yeah, coaching ones, yeah, not too much. Like, I don't ask, like, what's your schedule like and all that. Because it's not really as important. I guess once you get talking about the workouts and stuff, like, yes, we will eventually chat goals, but it's usually just, thank you so much. I can't wait to talk to you more about it. I'm going to send you this information package. Read it over when you have a few minutes, and I'll check back with you in a couple days. Does that sound good? Always end with a question. And then, yeah, make sure you follow up. If you tell someone you're going to follow up with them in a couple days, follow up with them in a couple days. So the goal as coaches, obviously, first and foremost, work on us, but we want to help at least 3 new clients every month with a Beachbody solution. And then one of those 3 should be a coach. So that should always kind of be your goal. I know you guys probably know this, but so like, follow, either this, like, make sure you have a system that's working for you. The heart thing I made up, like, whatever it is, just make sure you have some type of business tracking system to make sure you're doing your things every day. Always have, or at least know, a start date. So like, if you aren't running your own challenge groups yet, totally okay, but always make sure you know when my groups start so that you can invite to them. So my groups are always the 2nd Monday of the month. Sneak peek events for coaching are always the 3rd week of the month. So remember that and write it down. When you start a new month, be like, okay, I can invite to Jen's group the 2nd Monday of the month. Then I'm going to start inviting to coaching the following week. It just really helps to kind of have your month at a glance. And if someone, like, if you're inviting people to stuff, you want to have something to actually invite them to, right? So yeah, just always have a group or something you can invite them to. That's a big reason I made the second Monday of the month, because that way, no matter when it is, like if people want to know when my start date is for freaking next December, I'll have a date for them, because so that's why I did that. I used to not, I just kind of used to do it whenever, but this having a set date really works. So let me see what else I have. Okay, we're getting there. Okay, so I really was randomly writing stuff down today. So be a challenger. I don't remember where I heard that, if that was on the legal call this week or what, but I love that. Like, work on you. Be a challenger. Show people, you know, that our stuff works. Like, be proof the product works. And like, even in your own groups, like, be a challenger. If you're asking them to do something, like, you know, the daily challenges and stuff in like my groups, I always try to do them. Sometimes I just forget. But like, if you're asking someone else to show up and work out and drink your shake, you need to be doing that too, right? Like, be there with them. So be a challenger. Of course, yeah, be proof the product works. So help your clients see results. That's obviously a big thing. You know, you wanna help other people get feeling good and experiencing like what we have with the programs. Find joy in coaching. Like, you guys might think that's silly, but if you're dreading running challenge groups, if you're dreading posting to social media, if you're dreading Instagram stories, if you're dreading everything about coaching, well, A, why are you coaching? B, but like, that's gonna come across in your posts and your stories. Like, you've got to get excited. And sometimes with coaching, like, I saw a post in the team page the other day, and I was a coach who was really overwhelmed. She's like, there's just always a new program launching or something launching, and like, I can't keep up with everything. And so I think it was in our big team inspiration group, because Paige, is it Paige Costo? Whoever runs that group. So like, she's a big top coach, and she simply replied, and she's like, don't do it all. Like, you can't do it all. You don't have to do it all. Stick with the things you love about Beachbody. There are some girls that are 2B mindset through and through. They won't do this certification for Portion Fix. Why would they? They don't use it. They probably maybe did the 2B mindset certification. Like, do what's true to you. Do what makes you happy. If you have a favorite program, like whatever it is, then do that program. Do that program forever. Rock the shit out of it, you know? Share it with everyone and get excited about it, because people pick up on that vibe. Like, people don't want to listen to us talk on our stories if we're like, oh, like, I had to work out today. Like, you know, like, don't be like, we don't want to be monotone bored. Like, if we look bored, then how are we going to expect other people to like want to do this with us? So don't ever feel you have to do everything. And like, some coaches, they take it at their own speed, like Transform 20. Maybe they wanted to do it, but they're like, you know what? Every coach under the sun is doing that right now, is promoting that right now. So I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. And then in a couple months, when that's available to everyone on Beachbody On Demand, then when I'm ready, then I'm going to focus on Transform 20. I'm going to complete the program. Then like, don't feel you have to do stuff right when it launches. Yes, of course, I'll always ask you guys to like, you know, do stuff, do the certification, whatever, but it's okay to say no. Like, it's like, sorry, Jen, no, like, I like to be mindset, or, you know. So I just want you guys to know that you don't have to do everything. Just find those couple things that you are passionate about. Like, maybe it's Shakeology, maybe it's Energize. Like, find a couple things that like you really do love about Beachbody, and just, yeah, share the crap out of those. It's like that post I did in the team page, but one coach just saying I think it was 2B mindset. She loves 2B mindset, and when that program launched, like, she learned everything about it, and she just shared the crap out of that program. And like, I think she said she hit like Success Club 96 or something crazy, like, just from her excitement and like just owning that program and loving it. So yeah, I just want you guys to know that you don't have to do everything, but you have to have fun. Like, if this isn't fun for you anymore, then sometimes we got to like step back and reevaluate. Like, okay, like, are we focusing too much? I find when we get too wrapped up in the businessy stuff, it cannot be fun anymore. So you got to take it back and like find it fun, you know? Like, maybe Country Heat's your friggin' jam, or size. Like, you don't have to go with like what's trending now in Beachbody. Like, because again, what you like and what you're passionate about, that is going to speak to other people. Like for me, like hands down, 21 Day Fix and 21 Day Fix Extreme are my favorite programs. Like that's what started it all for me. And I love the portion fix. I've never even tried tubing mindset yet. So, but now I don't feel bad about it because I'm learning everything I can about something that I enjoy doing, something that I like doing, something that has changed my life. So like I was so stoked when like I found out about this certification, and like it makes me like happy. Like Adam even says, he's like, you're like excited about this certification. I'm like, I love portion fix. Like Autumn drives me nuts sometimes, but you know, like that's just what, you know, what kind of fuels me. So anyway, just, you got to find the joy in it, you know, be excited to show up and like do your power hour and chat with people, and, you know, and just, yeah, have fun with it, and really try to have that mindset is like, if they join me, great. If not, great. Like who cares who's next kind of thing, you know? So yeah, take out the noise, you guys. Just say, you know what, every month I'm going to show up and I'm going to help me and 3 people. That's it. Just leave it at that. Simplify it. And just, yeah, just have that be your focus. That's it. Like, don't think of rank or Success Club points, because if you're just like, I'm going to help myself and 3 people, then you're going to, everything else is going to fall into place. Sorry, I'm trying to speed this up. So I have a little spot about gut check. Like sometimes I think it's important to gut check ourselves. And this goes back to, you know, if something's not working, if you're like setting goals, whether it be Success Club or rank or whatever, and it's not working, then just know like it's not you, and you could be doing everything on that power hour, but maybe we just need to try a different approach to something. Or again, maybe it's in our conversations. Sometimes it just takes like a little tweak and it makes all the difference. So, you know, another thing I actually wanted to say was like the new coach training. Like, I feel like we were all kind of doing really well with that. And then the certification came out, and now we're all focusing on the certification, and the new coach training is probably not on anyone's radar. And I laughed because I was like, it's funny how when we pay for something, like we paid for that certification, so we'll do it, but that training's free. So, you know, how many of you actually finish that new coach training start to finish? Like, I don't know. Like, but it's just things like that. Like that is just as important, you know, as a certification. So it's like, you've got to really gut check. Like, are you doing everything you can be doing to grow your business and like learning? Like that training is great because you get to learn from all different coaches. So again, like you might want to try something else, like how Jen does her posting and stories and invites. Like that's not working for me. So I need to find something that another coach does, and I need to try that. So again, like I don't mind, like if you guys every week want to do like once a week, do a 1-to-1 20 to 30 minute power call, like I'm always here. And that could be something, you know, we can try new things. We can go through some of your conversations that you're having, you know, we can talk about what you're struggling with, you know, what you're unsure of, and we can try new things. And that'll also like really help hold you accountable. But sometimes you really have to stop and be like, okay, are we doing everything we can be doing? And if we are, like if we can really truly say that we are, then okay, we just gotta try something else, because what we're doing right now isn't working for whatever reason. And it can be so hard, like because again, there's so many different coaching styles out there, so it can be hard to not just do like a mishmash of kind of everything. And like, so it's important to just like try one thing. Like I said, with the invites and stuff, try one thing, try it for a week. If you're not seeing success with it, try something else. And like, there's so many trainings and stuff out there on each topic. So it might just take, you might have to try 3 different things that 3 different coaches do. And then bam, you're going to be like, okay, I found my groove. This is my jam. This is what works. It's like going back to that saying, like when Jake told me, and Jen, you want coaches. Well, you can't keep posting about challenge groups and expect to sign up coaches. And that was exactly it. It was like, we can't keep doing the same thing and expect a different result. You got to change something. And again, like I'm always here. If you're like, well, Jen, I don't know what to change. Well, then let's jump on a call. We'll evaluate things and we'll figure it out. We will fail forward together, because that's what this business is all about, trying new things, failing, but then eventually you'll find something that works. Like I had to tweak my conversations and like what I said to people like so much in my first year of coaching. Tried so many different things. Like went through so many different coach idols and like yada, yada, yada. And now I have like one coach that I follow, and that's it, because we try so hard to be other people when we need to just be us. And yes, learn from other coaches, but at the end of the day, you got to be you, because people, like, that's what people want to see. That's who they connect with. Like, yeah. Anyway, so just remember that new coach training, it's important, you know? So like, break up your day. If you're spending an hour on certification, spend half an hour on certification, half an hour on a new coach training. And yeah, I am totally up for like weekly one-to-one power calls and stuff with you guys. So like, you just message me anytime and be like, Jen, like, I'm available Wednesday. Like, yeah, like, totally, I am free. So message me anytime, because we'll just keep trying new things, tweaking things, and I'm telling you, one day it'll just be like, okay, and you'll get in this good groove, and it'll just, yeah. Because yeah, I just can't stress enough that like, there's so many days I listen to the wake up call and I hear coaches, like I said, doing something different than what I'm doing, but I don't change what I'm doing because they're doing it. Like I said, if it's not broken, don't fix it. So if I ever say something and you're like, well, no, Jen, like, I like what I'm doing, it works for me, stick with that. Because you don't want to do a million different things that a million different coaches are doing. You just got to try different things until you find what works for you. So I already talked about those notes. Okay, get excited, share the crap, don't be monotone, talk about something people want to join. Oh yeah, so I already went over all that, this whole page. I already said just about like being excited, because people sense that. And if people see you being so excited about portion containers, and like, people have a serious like FOMO, you know, fear of missing out, like people, so create that for people, like, get so excited that they have to ask what you're doing. But again, don't give it all away, tease them, like, just show little snippets. And like, it's all about kind of like curiosity marketing, so not like showing product labels or like names of stuff just so that they have to ask you. But yeah, just get really, really excited. And the last thing I had written down was be real, be raw, be you, because there's only one you, and you got to kind of set yourself apart from other coaches. And it's just no fun if we try to be another coach, and like, we're all guilty of it. You know, we follow coaches and it can be so tough not to play that comparison game, and like, well, you know, so-and-so is successful, so if I just do exactly what they're doing, I'll be successful too. Well, to an extent, sure, you can. It's totally okay to take ideas and stuff, but we've got to put our own voice behind it and just be us. And it's more fun that way. Like, when you can just show up and embrace, like, you know, your uniqueness, your flaws, whatever. It does. I mean, obviously easier said than done, but yeah, it makes it more fun when you're just like, I don't care what anyone thinks. Like, I'm just gonna show up. I'm gonna be 100% me. Friggin', you know, playing with my hair, 3-day-old makeup, like, you know, that's just me. You know, that's when you're going to relate to people the most, is when you're you, because they're like, oh wow, like, I do that too. And like, but if you're like trying to be someone else, and then it's like, and I did it for like a year. I was trying so hard to just post and do what every other coach was doing. And then I was like, okay, Jen, who are you though? Like, you got to be you. Again, we're not encouraged to reinvent the wheel. So it's encouraged to take ideas and learn and stuff from other coaches, but just make sure you're always putting your own voice behind it. Yeah, that's all I got on Convos. I just really wanted to talk about it because, again, they're a huge part of what we do, and it can be so easy sometimes to just want to jump, like, as soon as someone asks for information, just to jump to that, like, oh, well, let me tell you, and then send them a whole thing. And again, you guys, I've learned this stuff because I did it. You know, I used to, someone want information, okay, and I'd send them a short story of like, well, all the ingredients in Shakeology and this, and like, they're literally like, what? Like, you want me to read all that? Like, sorry, no thanks. And like, they don't even, you know. So just think of how you would want to be treated, and like, you know, maybe your experience when you joined, and like, just again, like, you know you have something amazing. Like, you know Beachbody works. We have all seen and felt the results of the programs. So just be confident and, again, be excited, have fun with it, and just go into every conversation like, I know what I have is awesome. If they don't want it, then that's okay. Like, so what? Who cares? Who's next? I think it was Angie Bellamere. She said that little comment, and I really liked it. Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember what I just said, but so what? Who cares who's next or something? Basically, she was just trying to teach people, like, not everyone's going to want to do this and not everyone's going to be interested, but there are a lot of people out there that are waiting for us to help them. So just keep at it. And again, if something's not working, it's okay to be like, okay, like, again, you can come to me, whatever, and say, Jen, like, this isn't fucking working, like, help. Like, and we'll go over things and see, like, what are you doing in a day? Maybe there's something you're skipping. I always relate the business back to working out. And it's funny because, like, Autumn in the certification, she's like, people won't be getting results. And I'll ask them questions like, are you following the program? And they'll say, yep. And then she'll deeper dive and say, well, are you having any cheat meals a week? And they'll be like, oh yeah, like 3. And then she'll be like, well, and are you getting all your workouts in? Well, I do about 4 or 5. So no, you're not following the program. So it's kind of the same with the business thing. Like, we can say, like, oh yeah, like, we're doing this every day, but are we really doing every single thing on here every day? Usually there's a few things we like to skip because it's uncomfortable or it's hard or we just don't like to do it. So that's what I mean by gut checking. Like, really be honest with yourself and be like, okay, am I inviting 5 people every day to the challenge group? Am I starting new conversations every day? And if not, that's okay. You're human, but that's where we'll start, and we'll just kind of, but yeah, I think that's all I have to say. You guys have any questions, like, on combos or just anything I said? Anything at all? Oh, so I just shot energize everywhere. Oh, okay. Adam's not going to be home for another hour. Shocker. Sorry, I just thought he was going to be home. He said he'd be home at 7. But not till 8 now. Trisha, you're frozen. Patricia, sorry, I just called you Trisha. Short for a minute.
I usually go by Trish, so it.
Oh, okay, perfect.
You're there.
Yeah. My internet sucks tonight.
Oh, does it? Yeah, you're frozen again, but I can hear you. Sam, are you back to work?
Yeah, today was my first day back.
Yeah. Oh.
It actually wasn't that bad. I kind of started going a little stir crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, I love my alone time. So like when Mike's at work and like the kids and everyone are gone, like I love it. And it started coming down to like I was waiting for him to come home. I was like, please come home. But then I thought that, and I was like, maybe, I think I even posted something. I'm like, all right, maybe if I worked from home, like this wouldn't be good for my mental health. I would look homeless every day.
Right.
But then I started thinking, then I saw Amy Silverman on the National Wake Up Call, and I'm like, she does it with her boyfriend. That's why, like, they're both home.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, refresh. Let's get this.
Yeah. It is hard. Like, all the time I think that, because, like, especially being out here, I literally have no girlfriends. Like, I have nobody but Adam, which has been hard because I feel like that it almost made me almost dependent on him, and I'm not like that. Like, I love being by myself, but it's like I'm home all day. So yeah, half the time I don't shower. I have makeup on for 2 days. I don't get out of comfy clothes. Like, I just wait for him to come home because I'm so bored. But again, it's more so you got to kind of like, when I go home, like we're going to be going back home in a couple weeks, which I'm excited. And I'm going to start making weekly plans, like one day with my girlfriend, like Thursdays. I'm going to make sure, because she has, a newborn baby and stuff. So like every Thursday, I'm going to make myself go for a couple hours. I'm going to start scheduling, like getting me out of the house. And back home, it's a bit different because I know like where I can go for walks and like obviously family and stuff. But it's hard. And like a lot of people say, like, I could never work full time from home. I would go nuts. And I was like, it's all on how you look at it, like I asked Adam when we go home, I said, so since you won't be working for a month or two, how about we do a program together? And he was at first, he was like, no. And I was like, just do it. I said, you did clean week and you liked it. And I said, I think it'd be good for us. I don't remember where I saw someone's challenger sent her a message and was like, I just want to thank you. Like, my boyfriend or my husband and I have been working out together for 2 months. And she said it was like therapy. She's like, we were having a really tough time in our marriage, and doing this together, she's like, it's built our confidence with one another. Like, she just said it helped a lot of things in their relationship. And I was like, yeah, like, I think that'd be good. I said, we don't have to work out together or anything if you're not comfortable. But I was like, I think it'd be good for us. And yeah, it's all kind of what you make of it, of being home. You really have to make it a point to like, okay, I'm going to get dressed today. I'm going to friggin' get ready. I mean, I'm kind of like that anyway. Like, even when I did work out of the house, I'm not really one to do much with myself, but it gets a little much sometimes. I'm like, shower.
I think it has to do a lot with the weather too. Like, I don't take a lot of vacations in the beginning of the year when it's winter still. I tend to like try to push it off. Like, my birthday is in July, so that's normally my first vacation is July. And then I'm like rushing to get everything. Like, I have 3 vacations a year, 3 paid vacations for a week. It is nice.
Uh-huh.
So I take one in like July, and then I always take one for Christmas. But there's so much going on during Christmas, like, you're not bored.
No.
So I just was like, all right, I'm just gonna take one early in the year. So that's the one I'm always like, all right, I just gotta push it in somewhere. But I was like, I'll just take it and I'll like it. And it's just been cold and dreary and like kind of snowy and kind of rainy. And like, I didn't want to go outside or nothing. So
Yeah.
I think that had a big thing to do with it too. Cause I was literally just cooped up in the house.
Yeah, no, that does. Like, I actually have had a couple meltdowns. Like, we'll come home and I'll just start crying. And I'm like, I need to go home. I was like, I sit here by myself all day. I can't go outside because it's -40. Like, I was like, I can't do this. Like, well, you go stir crazy. Like, you literally, it's like, there's only so much like alone time one person can like have.
Right.
And then, so like I said, I'm like, we need to go. Like, can we just go for a drive? Like, because he's
Right.
not getting his days off right now. So he literally is working 7 days a week. Hasn't had a day off in almost 3 weeks. So it's like we have a couple hours at night, and I don't know what day it was last week. I was like, we need to go to the grocery store. I don't care. We just need to go. Like, I need to get outside. I was like, I haven't been outside in 5 days. Like, this is just like, but yeah, it's hard. This weather, I feel like for a lot of people, and because we're getting close to nicer weather, so it's like, but yeah. Seasonal like depression and stuff, I feel like is definitely like, I don't think I necessarily have it, but it definitely can affect a person's mood. Like, when it's so cold and crappy and gets dark out so early, it really does affect moods. Where summer
Starts wearing on you. Like, you can take so much and so much, but then it's kind of like, all right.
Yeah, I agree.
But it did kind of make me miss like the hustle and bustle. Like, normally, because I work like 9 or 10 hours a day, and then I come home and I'm like, all right, I have to make sure I eat in the right time span, and then I have to do my workout, and then they want dinner, and I need to do this, and I need to post this, and I need to invite here, and I need to do personal development. But like, it kind of made me miss that like chaos, like my organized chaos.
Yeah. No, I get it. I always joke with people. I'm like, I feel like I was way more on top of my business stuff when I worked 3 jobs, because you only have so much time that you can get it done. Whereas now it's like I have all day. So I'm like, oh, no problem if I don't start till 1. But then it's like, no, then I'm rushing and I have all day and I don't get all my stuff done till 11 o'clock at night. Like, that's just me not being organized. But I do miss that sometimes, like that structured day, because it's like, well, you only have your pockets of time. So if you don't do it, you don't do it. So it's hard. All right, I was just going to take a picture. I don't know if she'll pop back on or not.
Kicked off, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Just a small bunch tonight. I didn't tag anyone or anything, so. I feel like we've been doing Tuesday nights for a while. So I was like, people kind of just know. So I'm not chasing anyone today.
And then I was like, oh, it was daylight savings time. I was like, do they have daylight savings time in Canada? I'm like, am I going to be out here at the right time?
That's funny. Well, yeah, it really had me second guessing like everything. Like, is everyone's like the same time still? And yeah, confusing.
That's funny.
Adam actually said to me yesterday that his boss told him that the Monday after daylight savings, like this one, has the most heart attacks, or is the day that the most heart attacks happen or something. And I was like, what? And apparently it's because people are so rushed and like they forget about the time change, so they're like rushing around. And I was like, okay, if someone has a heart attack because they're late for work or something, they got like bigger things to worry about than daylight savings. Like I was like, that's crazy.
That is.
I was like, I get it. It kind of screws with your sleep and whatever,
But I mean, our phones now, like I could understand when like you had an alarm clock and you had like, okay, I have to set it ahead of time, and then like, what time do I set my alarm for? But our phones literally like change for us.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't really, and I feel like most people use those nowadays. I mean, I guess some people still use like an actual alarm clock, but yeah, I don't know. I thought that was kind of weird.
Yeah, that's quite a fun fact.
Yeah. Oh. Well, anything you want to chat about while we're here? Or?
I just need to work on invites.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been doing more personal development now.
Have
so
you?
like, yeah, so something's got to get squeezed out of there, and unfortunately for me, it's my invites.
Yeah.
So, but like you said, you just have to be consistent. I don't have to do like, I think I build it up to be more than it is. So like when I think of inviting, I'm like, oh, I have to at least get like 20 people, and who am I gonna go to? And instead of just being like, all right, why don't I just do 5 a day?
Yeah.
And make them just easy conversations. I think I'm just building it up to be more than it is.
Yeah, and no, and we do that. Like we put this so much pressure on inviting, and I think we really do it. And like I know Jane, like she said that when she like said like, oh, I have to do so many a week, and what she would get so discouraged if she didn't get that number, then she just wouldn't do any. So now she's like, I would like to do this many a week. If I do them all, great. If I don't, no problem. Like I'm not gonna play catch up. Like, and that's it's important to look at it like that too. Like don't make it like, oh, I have to send like 50 invites this week. Like, oh, I haven't done any Monday, Tuesday. Like now I have just say, you know what, I'm gonna aim for 5 a day. Even if you do 1 today, then no problem. 5 tomorrow. Like, cause exactly. Like if you just make them something kind of like fun and just like, you know what, I got 5 girls, I'm gonna shoot them a message, and just kind of take it one day at a time instead of like, oh, like I have to do these invites. Like, yeah, we put such a so much pressure on it, and we make it such a bad thing. But I